Lord knows.
I do it on my phone. I can't touch my computer.
Yeah, dude. This man's been doing too much research on Eileen Perez's OnlyFans. His computer's got a bug on it now. Okay.
You're gonna get me in trouble.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time for that, would it?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode here on Locked Door MMA. We're your hosts. I'm Brevin. This is my good buddy JP. And in today's episode, we will be breaking down every single fight and giving our predictions for UFC Fight Night Moreno versus Kavanagh in Mexico City, Mexico. We think maybe it'll be moved. We'll dive into that. But before we do, we just want to give a quick shout out to you guys as our current viewers, our current subscribers. Welcome to the Locked Door MMA community. For all those that are brand new, I know I spoke to a lot of you in the lives these past couple of nights, and you were gonna tune in to this weekend's episode. So I appreciate you being here. But JP, an interesting card this past Saturday with a lot of weird outcomes. Let's talk about a few of them. UFC Houston. I think it was a good card overall, but an interesting night for us, and hopefully we can bounce back this week.
Yeah, I mean, eh, I don't know. It was pretty shocking for some of it. Oh God, excuse me. Um, Fluffy did not look great, and Sean did. You know, whether you, however you feel about Sean Strickland, I mean, the man can fight. They cut off his microphone in the post fight press conference. Not surprising. um, but yeah, I mean, Fluffy just did not look good. Didn't really push to grapple. He did a little bit. I don't know. Jeff Neal. I was telling Brevin, you guys, I was telling Brevin that one's on me because Brevin's been a massive fan of the Doctor, Mr. Medich, for a while. I don't know. I saw Jeff Neal having trouble with Ian Gary and all this and blah blah blah. Sometimes you gotta just. I didn't really care. Also, everybody talking about, oh, he's sober Neal, Jeff sober Neal. I didn't really give a shit, but apparently going sober just completely depleted his chin. It took everything out of it, including the snot out of his nose. Jesus Christ, that was crazy. Melquizel Costa, though, right? Hey, you can't say I took both of your boys from you, okay? We rode with one of them. I think he's the first man to finish Dan Ige. Holy shit. That was crazy. Did he break his orbital bone?
He had to have broken something. Dan was sitting there after the fight, like holding his face together. I mean, holy cow, Melquez Ocasa put it on him, and a lot of people, fans of Dan Ige, and guess what? I told you guys, my boy Melky was gonna come through. Finally, JP let me have one of my guys. Okay, Melky boy is my guy, and wow, he looked great, dude. He looked great. The dude is a
I
problem.
mean, his kicking game, every fight that we have watched, it's just gotten better and better. Like, holy shit. I believe he did break his orbital. That was crazy. Ante Deliha sucks. How how are we getting outstruck by Spivak? You're getting out jabbed the entire fucking. Couldn't believe that. That's mind blowing. Your head is just sitting there. Did Tom get poked in the eye or did Deliha get poked in the eye? Because dude can't see a fucking jab coming from. That's mind blowing. It's just mind blowing. Good win by Spivak, I guess. Jacoby Smith tried to kill a man, and then the ref is pissed, which I get it, but also like, is that not what they're supposed to do? Because then people try and do these walk-off KOs, and then the refs don't step in. I think the refs should have stepped in much sooner. But he's pissed at Jacoby. Whatever is what it is. Zacharias didn't win. I know a lot of people think he got robbed. Whatever. I think we should have grappled more. Michelle Pereira's a pussy for saying, I got hit in the nuts. I got hit in the nuts. No, you didn't.
Multiple
No,
times.
you did not, dude. And even the eye poke, yes, his fingers were close. Finger did not go in your eye.
Well, he was holding the wrong eye. That's the thing. He started covering up the wrong eye that clearly no finger went in. I get the one clip the other eye, but what are we doing? Get your lies correct.
I don't understand how, because they watched both of the nut shots back and they're like, yeah, foul, foul. What? What are we talking about?
No shot. No shot. Wear different shorts. I understand it probably raised the cup, given how his shorts were sitting, like, wear different shorts or something, dude. I don't know.
Yeah, like it touched it. Sure, it's the same thing with the eye poke. His fingers are there. Is that brother? Come on. I don't know what we're doing. We're just letting. That's the only reason he didn't gas out worse than he already did. Is because he's getting these free fucking times. Whatever. Chidi Carlos Leal. If this fight confirmed anything for me, Brevin, Muslim Salikov, when he does not fight in the United States, is on steroids. I know we said it last time. This is 100% confirmed. Okay? Carlos was getting hit by knees up the middle. Chidi he was trying. I think in the first round, we're trying to kick a little too much and we're not putting hands out there as much as we should have, but Carlos is a dog, dude. O'Day, who cares? O'Day lost. Whatever. Alibi Idris actually fucking wrestled. Imagine that. Phil Rowe and Lesbian. Pretty good fight. Now, saying that, I don't know how you watch that fight and you score that for Phil Rowe. I don't know what we're watching. Anyways, Jesus Christ. Alden Correa, Garule. Garule looks like a marble when he fights. His head is so shiny, but he's tiny, bro. He's very small. And Alden just looks great. Trains with Josh. Punahele, Brahimaj. Brevin, did you think this was a robbery?
No, Puna won that fight. He won 2 rounds in my book. I think that was pretty clear, from where I was sitting and obviously for the judges too. Now, listen, I will say the judges were blind on Saturday. So if you wanna sit here and scream robbery, that's fine. I'm sitting here screaming robbery for the Zachary Reese and Pereira fight. So it is what it is. I think Puna won that fight. Brahimaj really just let his foot off the gas after round 1, and that was about that.
Gassed out, if you will. And he was on his butt and his back a lot. I was texting Brevin. I was like, hey, because I'm not going to lie. When I was sitting there watching it, I was like, Jesus Christ. They're going to give it to Brahimaj. What a trash. Whatever. And then they gave it to Puna. I'm texting Brevin, laughing my ass off. He's like, no, I do think Puna won. Brahimaj got swept and reversed way too much. And then Puna in the third round comes out and lands, I mean, what was it? A head kick, a knee, and another head kick or something like that. Um, Brahimaj, yeah, it's that classic case we talk about all the time. You're searching for submissions too much, and you're getting swept too much because you're submission over position. Apparently, for some fucking reason, these dudes love it. Whatever. Jocelyn Edwards looked like shit and then broke Nora Cornell's clavicle. I'm pretty sure. I mean, Jesus Christ, she pinned her arm. Yikes. Yikes. And before that even happened, I was talking so much trash about Edwards. She looked horrible. I mean, the striking was pathetic. We're not shooting. Didn't look great. And then she gets the slam. Good finish by her, but whatever. Miller, Carly, I feel like fumbled the finish. I feel like she could have got a finish. I think she's got to learn to cut the cage off, but she did put hands on her the whole night. I know Juliana was on TikTok all week talking about, you think I'm just going to lay down? No, but we think you're going to get your ass beat. That being said, she did almost pull off the comeback victory. Very close. Brevin, do you want to speak on the newly awarded biggest bitch pussy, excuse my French, of the year in Yadier de Valle? And it's not close. This dude can get cut for all I care. If it's not a rigged fight, he's a bitch all of a sudden.
Yeah, guys, as you do recall in last week's video, we did state that, hey, keep an eye out for this one. Maybe there's some funky business going on. If you don't know, Yadier was the guy that was involved in the FBI's investigation surrounding the rigged fight with the mafia and so on and so forth. I think that there's potential that this fight was also rigged, but Yadier, being the almost minus 450 favorite in this matchup, continued to just give up position when he had takedown stuffed and he just fall over to his back, put his back flat to the mat. If you watch any of his other fights, he knows what he's doing. He knows how to grapple. He knows how to get up when he's taken down. He didn't do that. He just folded over. Didn't look like he was interested in fighting. Didn't want to be there. I really don't need to spend that much time on it because it's honestly BS. Stay away from Yadier de Valle. A lot of those guys, whatever. If it's, I'm not dealing with it. All right. Enough being said about that. But I do want to talk about one thing, actually, two things. First of all, Juliana Miller, her posture is terrible. Okay. I'm sitting there on the couch watching the fight with Kaylee, and Kaylee comes out there and is like, "What's going on with this girl's posture?" She rolls her shoulders forward and she's like, "Look, she fights like this," and she's all sitting there all weird. Terrible. She's a terrible fighter. She got beat up for it. And then in the Edwards fight, Kaylee's also sitting there like, I hope you took the girl, and I think she was in red shorts or whatever. I hope you took that girl as Jocelyn Edwards. I'm like, yeah, we did. Why? She was like, well, she just looks like the better fighter. Well, at this point, she really wasn't doing much. Cornole was kind of putting it on her. I was like, no, she's kind of losing right now. And then like literally 3 seconds later, bam, Edwards slams her down. The fight's over. I'm like, crap! Like Kaylee's sitting there making calls from the couch. No, it was pretty fun to watch. But yeah, weird women's fights. Hopefully, we don't have weird stuff happen in this weekend's card. But JP, I think that's a great segue to get us into UFC Mexico. Like I said in the opener. Obviously, all the stuff taking place in Mexico right now, like prayers up for everyone that's being affected. Hopefully they can get that cleared up and everything's going to be all right. I don't know if the fights are still gonna happen in Mexico City. There's talks of it potentially being moved to the Apex. I feel like we would need to know information relatively soon. By the time this video is out, guys, we'll probably know the answers to this. But right now, it's still up in the air on whether or not it's gonna happen in Mexico City. However, your boys are gonna be prepared nonetheless. So let's dive into this card. The first fight on the prelims, we've got Wes Schultz taking on UFC newcomer Damien Pinas. I mean Pinas. It's all the
I
same.
knew you were gonna do it too. I knew you were gonna do it.
But
Um,
listen, he's the Bronny James of the UFC. Okay, go look at his Tapology right now if you haven't already. It's Bronny James in a pair of shorts, and we put gloves on him and say, "Hey, go fight."
um, yeah. I mean, to speak on the Mexico City thing, if it's not, I don't know if that changes our picks all that much, but it does change my worries. Right? If it's not Mexico City, then I think I'm 10 times more confident about our picks. Because if there's one thing, if you guys don't know, which it was crazy to me when I found out, Mexico City is way the fuck up there in elevation. I think it's like 7,300 feet. That blew my mind when I heard that. So people gas out all the time. People who you think should look good, not look good, look completely different because they gas out after 3 minutes, 5 minutes of fighting. Anyways, Wes Schultz, a wrestler, wannabe wrestler, but he's talking about he's got this and that accolades of wrestling. Sure. Um, his technique for wrestling or striking for everything, in my eyes, is hella sloppy. Um, he's gonna want to get his hands on Pinas. We'll see if he can take down Pinas. You know, everybody always tries, but the thing about Pinas is Pinas hits hard, right? And he throws straight, good 1-2. He doesn't throw a lot, but when he does, it's very accurate, very straight, good leg kicks. He does occasionally like to threaten with chokes and like submissions when he does get taken down because his takedown defense is, I would say, a little bit mediocre. So we're taking um Damien. I'm not saying that. We're taking Damien. Uh, his striking is just too good. We feel like, and we think he's gonna slump Wes, but there's a chance he does gas out. I don't think it's that crazy if he did. If he did, but Wes's striking is so freaking bad, dude. It's so bad, and I didn't even mention it. Revan, this dude spins like no other for no reason. I can't. Give us Damien. We think he gets it done on the feet. Can't guess that.
Yeah, 1000%. You saw the spinning stuff in the monster fight. Like he starts getting touched and he starts spinning like a ballerina. It's just awkward and weird. His striking is bad, so he turns into a wrestler, but he's not a very good wrestler. And I think Pinas can stuff the wrestling. Okay. and land the hands. And that's how I see this fight going. If he lands a clean 1-2 on Schultz, he's been touched before. He doesn't respond well to it, and I think he can put him out. So yeah, rocking with Damian Pinas in his UFC debut.
Pinas gonna do a lot of stuff, and yeah, we'll have to see. All right. Next fight, Eric. I bore my knee stepping backwards. Silva. I mean, what a strange sequence that was. Going up against Francis Marshall.
Well, the thing is, like in OBS, I can see what's being recorded, but I did freeze in OBS. Like the video just
Shit.
froze. So I'll just start again.
You want me to count you down?
Yeah.
We're going in 5, 4.
Yeah, in this matchup, Eric Silva coming off the knee injury, as you guys saw, got taken down. The thing popped. The fight got called off immediately. I can't get behind a 39-year-old with knee problems. All right. Francis Marshall, 26 years old, got good power in his hands. He'll wrestle a little bit too. I just think this really just comes down to the battle of the ages. For me, Eric Silva, his prime is past him. I don't think he has anything to offer for Francis, the fireman Marshall. Marshall is going to be a big time favorite in this matchup, but I think deservingly so. So give us Francis Marshall to get the job done over an aging Eric Silva.
Nothing else to say, really. I mean, and on top of that, dude hasn't fought in 2 years because of the knee problem. When Francis Marshall's fighting, he's losing split decisions. Every fight he has is close as shit. And some of these split decisions, a lot of people think he could have won those fights. So he makes every fight that he's in close. He's decently well rounded. Yeah, yeah. I don't see how you take Silva here.
All right, our next fight, we have a women's fight. Ernesta Kareckaite taking on Sofia Montenegro.
Um, in my eyes, guys, this is gonna be a squash match. Okay. Karashketa, super tall, super long, and she is one of the girls who beat Carla Judice in a split decision. Um, on the feet, right? She can strike with Judice, and the reason I bring up Judice is because she actually like for women's MMA, Judice's hands have consequence, and it just looks great. Like the technique is great. Versus the Sophia chick, because Ernest is the same way. Puts combinations out there. She's very long. Her guard is nice and high. She will walk you down a little bit. She'll put people behind that black line, and then she'll throw volume, throw volume, throw volume. She doesn't necessarily have a lot of power, but again, that's a rare thing you find in women's MMA. But she has volume, a good technique, and she's big as shit. I mean, it's those three things together are just a problem. Sophia, her technique's butt cheeks. It just is. I think she's going to get pieced up with the jab all night. She doesn't move her head. When she goes to throw, she goes from here to here, and then everything comes from here. There was one fight I saw where she looked like she's fighting a girl that was on more steroids than Muslim Salikov, because my lord, this chick was huge. Um, but she'll just kind of stand there and bang. I don't think her footwork's going to be good enough. I don't think she's good enough to grapple her. I think Nicole Cagliari showed how hard it is to grapple Ernesta because these tall people, we say it all the time, unless you collect both legs, one of their legs are always on the ground, and it's just so hard to trip them or take them down regardless. We're taking Karashketa. We think it's a squash match. Karashketa by decision, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, there are some people out there that are high on Sophia. I get that there was probably a little bit of a robbery in her last fight. But for me, Karishketa, she's shown that she can defend some of the grappling. Like even looking at the Barbosa fight, she defended enough to not get submitted. Some things were close, like Barbosa had her back. And I think on the feet, the length is going to give Sophia some problems, right? Obviously, Sophia is a little bit younger. Like she is um a UFC newcomer. She has a lot to learn, but I think the UFC experience from Kareckaite is going to get the job done. But yeah, I also can't be clicking around on the computer, JP. I think that's causing a little bit of the internet issues. Guys, I can't get hardwired to my router anymore. It's a weird thing. So bear with me if I'm a little glitchy today. We'll figure it out. But To recall fights in the past, I may need JP's help or your guys' help in the comments. However, we're just gonna roll with it. But yeah, give us Kareckaite to get the job done. She's just tall, long, and has good striking. I like those factors.
Um, yeah, if there's two things that are for certain, every single locked door MMA video, either audio or internet issues. And then the other thing is we are going to accuse somebody of taking steroids. Okay. Whether that be me and Brevin's just kind of backing me or whatever. But yeah, Douglas Silva de Andrade is 40 years old. And I'm pretty sure this man has like 6% body fat. And I also heard a couple rumors. Apparently, he's real close with Vitor Belfort. And I'm just saying, it's all who you know, right? Vitor, if you don't know, do some research. But De Andrade is taking on Javier Reyes.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I hope to look as good as Andrade when I'm 40. I mean, the dude's absolutely shredded. Granted, he's only 5'7". That helps. Javier Reyes, he's coming in the younger guy, the much younger guy. He's got the longer reach. He's tall as well. And I just think the volume output from him is going to be enough to get the job done. Even though I don't love his game, like sometimes he looks a little bit scared in there. Sometimes he's backing up as well, and this is just a big step up in competition for him. I'm not going to be able to sit here and say pick the 40-year-old that really doesn't throw much volume. Like, sure, he's compact, he can grapple a little bit as well, and when he does land, he can have some power. It's just not going to be enough, I think, to get Reyes out of there. So, give us Javier Reyes to get the job done here.
Yeah, and I like how Brevin's saying it. We're not really crazy excited about it because when Reyes goes backwards, he looks like shit. He looks terrible. He leans a lot back to his right. If you're fighting a southpaw and you're doing that, you that was another thing. I keep reminding myself. Carly would not throw the left high kick, the end of her combinations, or any high kick. I think it was a right actually. Juliana's leaning way doesn't make any sense. If I was in her corner, I would have said just paw the 1-2 out there. The Leon Edwards special 1-2 head kick. You're gonna put her out. But Reyes does that a lot. He's don't like that. But when he goes forward, he looks much better, right? When he's putting pressure on people, that's where his volume comes into play. And again, if we're in Mexico City, this man is 40. He's stocky as shit, and his whole style is surrounded by explosive movements and big, wild swinging hooks and power. That screams gassing out. It just does. There's nobody, and everybody's going to say, oh, yeah, Ramazan Timarov. Guess what? He got caught taking. Oh, that's right. All right. I'm a parrot. Everybody's taking steroids. All right. If you're that stocky and you're exploding that much, you just can't keep up that pace for 15 minutes. And he's 40. Give us Reyes.
Yeah, listen, man, I'm tired of you giving Carly Judice all of that, crap when Juliana Miller has like the built-in Philly shell posture, bro. The shoulders are already protecting the jaw. Like, I don't know why you're sitting here like, oh yeah, she should have got her finished. Stop with that
I think
crap.
she
I
could
mean,
have.
the posture alone keeps her in these fights. She's just protected from her
Hey,
shoulders.
I mean, it is what it is. You know, she looks like a troll. She a country troll. I don't know. She was real upset about the odds, but I mean, I guess she was getting clipped left and right though, and then she keeps leaning that way. I'm like, dude, just throw a high kick. And it's bouncing off her forehead. Big ass
Yeah,
forehead.
she kind of looks like a rat. Oh, I know. But anyways, we don't have to keep talking about her. Let's move up this card. We got Christian Quinones taking on I don't want to say fan favorite, but in some ways a very memorable fighter in Chris Moutinho.
Yeah, I like the way you put that. Yeah. You, I mean, you guys, we're taking Kenyan. I'm not even gonna sit here and give a talk track. Like, what are we gonna do? Sit here and say, "Oh, hear me out, Chris Moutinho might wait him out, might let Quinones gas out." Even if he does, honestly, who cares? Moutinho is literally a walking punching bag. Put a punching bag on a motorized scooter, on a Segway. You got Chris Moutinho. The dude will break your hands with his face. Give us Quinones.
1,000%. I mean, we saw the durability from Moutinho in the Sean O'Malley fight, and that's where I bring up like a very memorable fighter. That was pretty cool. I'm pretty sure Sean also set some records for most strikes landed to an opponent's head or something that night. So, I mean, there's that as well. I think Quinones, I mean, big time favorite, but he's got the skill set to really tee off on Moutinho, and I think he can get it done.
100%. All right, moving up, another women's fight. We'll see if one of these ladies can make weight. Macy Chiasson, the queen of missing weight, going up against Eileen. She's going to twerk Perez.
Yeah, I mean, one of the problems is that Chiasson stands at 5'11", and she's trying to make 135. I think that is a very hard cut being that tall. And like Eileen's only going to be 5'5". So there is going to be quite the height differential here in this matchup. We've known that with Chiasson. She has that in most of her matchups. The reach is quite significant as well. However, Eileen Perez's whole game plan is to get Chiasson down to the ground. So, with that logic, I do think it's going to favor Perez being the woman that's lower to the canvas. She's going to have the center of gravity advantage, probably get in on the hips, and then drag Chiasson down to the mat. If she does that, I do see her having success. Chiasson, she normally starts okay with the jabs, with the length. However, as the fight continues to go on, you really see Chiasson take steps backwards. The cardio is not there. The volume isn't there. The power's left her hands. And so I think that this is another one where Chiasson also has struggled with IQ. And Eileen Perez, I can see take advantage of that. I think Perez drags her down to the mat and most likely finds a submission. We're going to take Eileen Perez to get it done.
Yeah, I don't know. And if you're on Macy's side, I'm not. Like, I think it's an okay pick, a decent dog money pick, but like Eileen's on a tear right now. Macy slows down, like Brevin says, and then starts going backwards. So in the third round, you can really walk her down essentially because she's much slower than she was. And in the clinch, she does good work with elbows and stuff. I mean, ask Bueno Silva. She got a stoppage with the cut, but I don't like Brevin saying she either just doesn't do enough or she's just making bad decisions in the third round. And we've been down this road of she asks on dog money. She asks on a good dog spot here. Just like somebody else on this card that we'll get to later. But I don't Eileen's just she's on a tear right now. She's gonna get her down at some point. Macy's takedown defense isn't like crazy perfect, but I think at some point she gets her down. I think it's probably gonna be pretty big of a problem because Macy, like Brevin said, she's gonna either go for a submission and not have the position for it, or she's gonna try and stand up when she can, or something's gonna go wrong. She's gonna make a mistake at some point. So give us Perez.
Yeah. How have Eileen and Marab not started dating already?
I know, dude.
I know they had their little thing. Marab's like smacking her on the ass and all that stuff. Like, they would be a good couple, I think.
Dude,
I don't know.
that video of him just that shit. Oh man, that's. I remember the first time I ever saw that. I've never laughed so hard in my life, dude.
You gotta love Marab. All right. That takes us to an interesting matchup. Jose Medina is taking on Ryan Gandra. JP, what are your thoughts on this one?
Oh boy, oh boy. Um, look, we're not gonna sit up here. It's the same thing as Moutinho. We're not telling you to take Medina. We're not. Okay, we're taking Gandra. With that being said, let me find it. Let me find it. Gandra is a minus 600 favorite right now. There's quite a few of these fights on this card that the odds are kind of crazy. All right, I think
Yeah.
Quinones is minus 675. If you are betting on this fight, I'll let Brevin talk more about it. Gandra's not good. It's either a first round KO or he gets tired. And he swings a lot from the hip. His striking defense, pretty much non-existent because he thinks it's going to come from his offense. We've seen how tough Medina is. There's ever going to be a fight. That's a trap. The big favorite beats the dude's ass in round one, gets tired. The Mexican fighter with the Mexican crowd, everybody's going nuts. Boom, beating his ass. Just saying. But we're not. We can't take Medina. We just can't. He's just a tough guy. We're taking Gandra.
Yeah, the dude hasn't won in 3 years, guys. And I was on live last night, and I had a major crash out talking about Jose Medina. We're cutting a bash rat brother after a win, and Jose Medina's still on the UFC roster. He has never won for the UFC whatsoever. He lost his contender fight, and JP, correct me if I'm wrong. I can't click on his name or I'll freeze. I believe he's like 0-4 in the UFC. The dude has never
Oh,
won
and 3.
for the organization whatsoever. 0-3, and then make it 0-4 with the contender series fight. And yet he's still on the roster. He hasn't won in 3 years. He does one thing well, and that's eat punches. He's a tough guy. I was telling people on the live last night, I have a better UFC record than Jose Medina. I've never lost in the UFC. I've never lost in the UFC. Medina has 3 times, and then once more on the Contender Series. He has 0 wins. So I have a better record than Medina. Gandra, though, he's a weird fighter. Think of Carlos Leal, but in my opinion, just not as skilled. He used to be a heavyweight, so he trusts his chin a lot because he believes he can eat these punches, and he just believes he's going to knock everyone out in round one. Granted, he has up until this point, but as you guys know, that only lasts so long as you move up in competition. I'm not saying this is a big move up in competition, but I do know Medina is durable. I would be interested to see what this fight looks like if it makes it into round 2 and especially in round 3. Gandra, he has problems defending punches. He just leaves his head out there to be hit. Medina has generated power in his past. He's a durable guy. Look for Gandra to tire if he doesn't get that round 1 KO. But we can't sit here and pick a guy that hasn't won in 3 freaking years. So give us Ryan Gandra, but if you're betting this, I mean, listen, do what you want. However, the value is on the Medina side. Look for the round 2, round 3 finish potentially because Gandra, he's probably either going to get that round 1 finish or he's completely gassed and he's got nothing left.
And you know there are going to be people out there just for the jokes that are going to parlay Medina and Chris Moutinho. Which, like, hey, if they win, more power to you. But yeah, we're just saying. Like, he obviously Gandra could go out there and slump him because Medina has been hit by everything by everybody. So at some point, maybe it's just taking its toll now. His chin is no longer there. But I mean, you guys know these Mexican fighters, dude, are just notorious for being tough sons of bitches, and they can hang in there. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Next one, Santiago Luna looking to stay undefeated against Angel Pacheco.
Yeah, I thought we had Isaiah Pacheco on this card for a little while, and I figured, hey, he might be better at the UFC than running the rock for the Chiefs. I'm just saying, but no, it's actually Angel Pacheco. Maybe it's his long lost cousin. I don't know. However, he's just about as good at fighting as Pacheco is at running the football. Not very good. Santiago Luna, I like the prospect. I think he's got good hands, and Pacheco's really slow. Watching film last night with all the viewers on the live, we really just saw Pacheco's gonna telegraph everything he puts out there. His hands are not fast. You can see it coming, and look for Luna to counter that very well. Really put it on Pacheco. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. We're taking Santiago Luna to get it done.
Yep, there's another one where come the first round, Luna's gonna probably beat the shit out of Pacheco. And it's not gonna be close. The skill gap is huge here. Luna's very well rounded. He's just very young. So again, there's another red flag here where if Pacheco can take an ass whipping for 5 minutes, Luna blows his wad. Round 2, round 3, Pacheco could put something together, but the skill gap is just crazy wide. Luna's very good. We like him a lot. He would be a lock. He's just very young, so you never know with the IQ and stuff like that. But we're taking Luna.
Yeah, 1,000%. All right, moving up, we've got and ladies and gentlemen, mind you, we are now on the main card. So listen, we're not sitting here this week begging you guys to watch this card. I think there's potential for some exciting fights. However, there's not so well-known guys, fighting this weekend, and that's okay. It is what it is. We've been on the main card, the last one was the first fight on the main card, and now we've got Imanol Rodriguez taking on Kevin Borjas.
I'm excited for this one. Imanol is a student of Daniel Cormier. He trains with Cormier's team. One of what did Connor used to call it, a stocky wrestler with an overhand, I guess you could say. He's tiny. Was he 5'4"? Yeah, tiny, very small. Extremely cut, and when he throws good combinations. He throws hooks. He likes his uppercut, but he will throw it with every ounce of that 5'4" body. He will throw everything into all of his shots, and then he can also wrestle a little bit, right? So we like him, but he's 26. A lot of explosive movements. It's very sketchy to think about at elevation. Kevin Borjas is a guy who I don't want to call him. He's not like a brawler per se, but he is perfectly fine with standing on the feet, exchanging on the feet. He's pretty decent at it. He's got okay technique. Um, he did not deal with leg kicks well against Alessandro Acosta. Yeah, we haven't really seen much of that since then. I feel like that's a lesson, Revan. Once you get the shit kicked out of you with leg kicks, I feel like that's a lesson you learn once, and after that, then you're like that. It normally doesn't happen again because it's just a horrible experience. Um, but he's kind of fast. I wouldn't call him the quickest dude ever, but he's got good striking, very straight, decently accurate. He doesn't do well with pressure, and he doesn't do well with grapplers. Imanol is probably going to give him both of those. If we stand on the feet and just stay at range, Imanol's probably going to get pieced up. He's probably going to be swinging big a lot. It's going to look terrible come round 2 and 3 because he's not able to land much because we're just sitting at range with Kevin Borjas. That's his best shot to win. That's how a lot of these guys fight him for some reason, and it blows my mind. If Imanol comes forward, puts volume, combos, everything like that, and then level changes and makes Kevin Borjas wrestle, maybe the first round, round and a half, I think he'll have a lot more success on the feet. We do like him. He's training with a smart coach. We're taking Imanol.
Yeah, 1,000%. I think you said it best. You gotta get inside. You can't sit at range with a guy that's got the longer reach, a little bit taller than you as well. Borjas has shown that he's got good counter striking ability. He can land from out at range, so close that distance, get inside, take him down, and really work Borjas. You'll really see him also start to slow as the fight wears on. Obviously, Imanol, a little bit younger, 2 years younger than Borjas, a little bit inexperienced at this point in his career. He's got all the skills necessary. He just really has to continue to put them all together. But he's well coached, and I think he'll be just fine.
100%. All right, moving up. This one, I think, has got a chance of being a barn burner here. Edgar Chairez, always a dog, going up against Felipe Bunes.
Yeah, I mean, Edgar Chairez put up a really good fight against Joshua Van, took the first round off of Joshua Van in that fight. Pretty pleased with his ability to land his, implement his game plan. He landed his calf kicks. He really had Joshua Van, um, questioning what to do, and I think it changed that fight a little bit. The problem was he started to tire out, and then by the middle of the second round and going into the third, he really just didn't have it as much as he did in the first round. However, Felipe Bunes is not Joshua Van. He's skilled, right? He's got some jujitsu, he's got good hands, but I definitely think Edgar Chairez has the better stand up, and I think he can implement it a lot better in this matchup. So give me Edgar Chairez. Look for those calf kicks to come into play, and look for the durability to come into play as well. Like JP said, we're fighting at elevation. He's going to be just fine, I believe, with that style, as long as he can continue to chop away at the lead leg, right? You just got to stick to it, and it'll pay dividends in the long run. Give us Edgar Chairez.
Yeah, Felipe's striking looks night and day different from the first 2 minutes of round one to literally any other point in the fight. He's got good straight kicks, and then he'll follow it with straight punches because his arms are long as shit. After that, it just kind of all falls apart. Um, in the Estevan fight, He had him in a buggy choke. And that was about it. That's all that happened in that round. They just sat there like that, and nothing happened. So, in my eyes, he's just a home run hitter or nothing type of guy. He's either going to hit the home run sub or he's not. Edgar Chairez can also grapple a little bit. He's coming off a submission win against CJ Vergara. Not the best win, but also not the worst. CJ's a well rounded veteran guy. And like Brevin said, he's standing on the feet with Joshua Van. Are we a little willing to trade a little too much? Probably, but he dropped Joshua Van, right? The only other person to do that, knock him out, is Charles Johnson. And then Brevin didn't even bring it up. Who's the other guy he lost to? Oh, yeah, Tatsudo Taita. Who's he fighting? Oh, yeah, Joshua Van for the title. Edgar Chairez is a dog. I think he's possibly open and live to beat the shit out of Felipe Bunes. Give us Chairez.
Yeah, a little bit slept on in the division, if you ask me. I mean, watch out if he really puts it all together. All right, that takes us up to our next fight. We've got Daniel Zellhuber taking on King Green, or as JP calls him, Bobby Green. Bobby.
I mean, what a weird, what a weird thing. Like for what? Why are we? Just I don't get it. I really don't get it. You're changing your first name from Bobby to King. Uh, no shot. I'm calling you that. And I think he's getting slumped. Okay. I was gonna sit up here and talk about how I'm gonna give Zellhuber the benefit of the doubt. I'm not gonna be biased and this and that. I'm biased towards Bobby. I don't like Bobby. Okay, Bobby's another one of those aura farming fucking weirdos. He'd rather sit there and showboat, talk shit, do this, do that, and then get slumped. Night night. Okay. Patty Pimblett putting him out. My favorite thing ever. And then what's his name? The boy who couldn't throw straight and then learned how to throw straight and knocked out Fiziev. Um, why am I forgetting his name? Mauricio Rufy.
Roofy, yeah.
Um, he hits him with a fucking spinning heel kick. Gorgeous. Love that. I'll say it time and time again. Bobby's style is not an old man's game. It's a very young man with fast reflexes, good footwork, which he used to have. Sure, he used to be nasty. But other than that, right now, his style is just not good. Not good. He's 33 and 17. Dude's had a lot of punishment. His last 2 wins out of his 5 fights are Jim Miller and Lance Gibson Jr., which he almost lost to. Yuck. Everybody's going to be like, Zellhuber looked like shit. He didn't do anything. He just stood there and didn't do anything. I understand. I mean, the receipts are out there. You guys can go to TikTok and listen to me crash out. Listen to Brevin crash out about it. But still, when you look at it, you just can't use that to say, well, Bobby's probably going to beat him then. Michael Johnson's long. Okay, he's not the tallest guy, but he is long. And like we said in his other fight, I don't think that fight happened, actually. I think that fight got canceled. But he gives problems to strikers on the feet. Michael Johnson can strike pretty well. He's not this Bobby Green guy with hands down, dipping, pointing. So Huber can head kick him. He's live for a head kick, deep kick, whatever. He's got long ass arms. He has a 77-inch reach at 6'1". That's crazy. That is crazy. Give us Daniel Zellhuber for a big bounce back.
Yeah, I think you said it best. I think the bounce back is coming. Michael Johnson's no slouch, and he carries a lot of power. I think with Bobby Green, he carries a lot less power than Michael Johnson. Sure, his striking has been technical in the past, but he's another one of these guys that keeps his hands pretty low, right? Because that's what gives him the advantage on the jab. You can't see it coming. No telegraph, all that stuff. Well, guess what? Those hands better be high because Zellhuber can kick as well, and you've been prone to getting knocked out via head kick. I think Zellhuber could find that as well in this fight. Um, but look for the hands of Zellhuber, right? Like the reach advantage, it's going to be there for him, and I really think he can start putting it on Bobby Green, who is 39 years old, mind you. Granted, I know Michael Johnson's old as well, but this is not the same fight, and I do believe in Daniel Zellhuber. I just think he had a bad night against Michael Johnson. It was what it was, but, yeah, give us Daniel Zellhuber. He's gonna be another big favorite for us on the main card, but it is what it is. We can't control the lines. He's just the better fighter.
I mean, honest to God, do you know if there's a place you can bet on it being a specific head kick? Like not just a knockout, but a head kick?
I have no idea. I mean, check Kalshi and Polymarket and every other one of these betting sites. Who knows
I
nowadays?
might have to.
I just stick to my basics, you know?
Yeah, true. I mean, I really do think it's a head kick. This man, I cannot stand Bobby Green. All right, moving up. Co-main event. Very interested. Very interested in this fight. Marlon Cheeto Vera is dog money once again, going up against David Martinez.
Yeah, excited for this matchup, guys. I've been high on David Martinez and Cheeto Vera to me is just kind of aging at this point. And really, like, sure, he's only 33, but like in UFC years is what I call it. Like he's fought some absolute wars. He's fought some of the best guys, and some might say that gives him an edge. Well, he what it does is it really shows us what he's made of, and he's a slow starter. His volume has diminished, and then he'll just sell fights, and I just don't like how he's been fighting as of late. Taking on David Martinez, who's been streaking. He's 27 years old. He's entering his prime. He's got great power in his hands. He's quick. He's light on his feet. He can really do everything. And listen, last week JP talked me off of Medic. He talked me off of one doctor. He can't talk me off of this one. This man actually was a doctor. Give me David Martinez to get it done.
Don't let him fool you. I did not try and talk him into Cheeto. um,
No, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying with
no,
Euros
I get
Medic,
it. I get it.
that's my boy. One doctor to another. We're sticking with
Yeah,
Martinez.
I mean, the moment I watched the snot rocket fly out of his nose, I looked at my phone and Brevin's already typing, and I was like, well, I, uh, not good. With the way the night was already going to, I was like, yeah, of course that would happen. But yeah, we're not falling. We talked about a trap earlier with Medina. We're not falling into this trap again. Cheeto Vera dog money. Oh my God. But Cheeto, he dissects you and he waits for his moments and his reads. And Cheeto gives up the first round. And we said this with the Amin Zahabi fight. And I said, I'm going to be pissed off probably. And I was pissed off. And it doesn't really make sense. You know why you're going to crash out and then you still do it? Yeah, because then Cheeto's pissed off at the end of the fight because he didn't win. I got robbed. I got robbed. You willingly know you're going to give up the first round and you're that mad at the end of the fight, but in round 2 and 3, you still don't throw. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's like a baseball player being mad that he struck out, but never swinging the fucking bat. It just doesn't make sense. And we knew Cheeto gives up the first round. He's just a slow starter. He makes reads and he'll land. He's going to land on people at some point. But like Revan's saying, when you get to the UFC, not everybody's going to fall over the first fucking thing you hit him with, especially when you're this high. And then Brevin made a great point. This dude's been through so many wars. Look at the second Sean fight. Oh my God. Cheeto has a chin. I'll give him that. But at some point, when are you an elite fighter and when are you just the best of these tough guys? You know what I'm saying? Like you got a great chin, but you lose by decision all the time. David Martinez, good footwork, good movement, good volume. At this point, that's all you need to beat Cheeto, and you just need a chin for when he clips you. But other than that, you're going to go up 1-0 to begin with. Just need to win another round. Give us David.
Yeah, I think the one thing to look out for here though is like has Cheeto Vera entered this like legend status to where like some of these young guys like David Martinez when they're fighting him they become to they kind of match his volume output, right?
Yeah.
They're like a deer in the headlights. That's the only thing that I worry about because we've seen that happen. We saw that happen with like Dan Ige and Patricio Pitbull. Like you're just matching their low volume. I would be so upset with David Martinez if he was doing that with Cheeto. Go out there, you know he's a slow starter, really put a pace on him, show him the power, earn his respect early. Like you may not be able to put him out, but honestly, Martinez actually might be able to. However, you've got to go out there and really establish your game plan early and often. Don't become like a fanboy in the middle of the octagon. That's what I would hate to see.
True. Yeah, you're giving him too much respect based off of what he's done versus what he's going to do in the fight.
All right, that moves us into our main event. Brandon Moreno is taking on Loner Kavanagh.
The loner, the stoner. Um, I believe the last time we saw him was the was it Shanghai or was it somewhere else in China?
No, it was in Shanghai.
Um,
That was that overnight card, right?
yeah, his fight was what gave us our second win, I believe.
Yes, it
We
was.
had Charles Johnson, dog money, and Charles came out.
Big time dog money.
He was getting it put on him, that's for sure. Loner was putting it on him to start the fight, and then Loner slowed down. And Charles Johnson, here he comes, marching forward, marching forward. Boom! Slumps Loner. Got us all out of our seat, and it woke us up a little bit. We needed that. I think it was like 2:30, 3 a.m., something like that.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yep.
which I mean, I know I get up at that time for work every morning, but when you stay up all night, dear Lord, oh my God.
You already hit the casino.
Brevin said, "Hey, I'm not drinking alcohol. It's gonna make me tired." I said, "I have one drink." Horrible idea. It just makes you so tired. The moment you sit there, Brevin's house is cold. You got a blanket on you. Oh God, it was so difficult to stay awake. One of us faded. Nate faded.
Nate was a
Yeah,
goner.
he was. Um, but hey, Loner's nasty. Okay, he's a young buck. He's quick on the feet. Disgusting. He can grapple. His scrambles are crazy. The one thing about this weight class, dude, and I was telling this with the people I was watching UFC last weekend with, the 125 weight class. When you get to the elite level, the scrambling and the grappling is just crazy to see. They're super quick, super explosive. Loner is very well rounded, and he's got decent power on the feet. If this wasn't short notice, Loner had a full fight camp, and this wasn't Mexico City, I think me and Brevin would have a serious conversation about taking Loner Kavanagh over Brandon Moreno. Again, I'm a parrot. Elevation, short notice, and in his last fight, he slowed down big time. I don't know the elevation of China. Ain't no fucking way where they were at is the same elevation of Mexico City. I'm taking Brandon Moreno. We're taking Brandon Moreno. He's been there. He's done that. He's had multiple 5-round experiences, 5-round fights. He doesn't necessarily gas out like these other people do. And Loner, we just came off of a fight where he got slumped after gassing out. And now we're in higher elevation. I feel like you got to take Moreno.
Yeah, 1,000%. I think you said it best. I mean, sure, Moreno has gotten beat. He's had his highs and lows, but I don't think he's really lost a step. Like the boxing is crisp. He's very high IQ fighter. He's had a lot of 5-round experience. And if this fight does go off in Mexico City, he's fought in Mexico City multiple times, and he's had success there. Like, this is a very tough matchup for Kavanagh fighting at elevation against a former champion. Sure, you've got power, but you're 26 years old. You're coming off of a loss, and you're fighting a former champ that really still is fighting the best of the best in that division. I don't really see this going in any other direction than Moreno really having success on the feet, maybe implementing some grappling as well, right? He can take Loner down, and he's a good grappler, right? He had Tyra in a triangle for all of the first round of that fight. Like he has the skills necessary if need be. So if Kavanagh starts to have success, look for Moreno to take him down, control him. But I think Moreno having the size advantage and the reach advantage, that jab's going to be a problem. And after last weekend, I'm not going to sleep on the freaking jab. I'm really not. Between Spivak and Sean Strickland, they were freaking peeing off with a jab that was busting up their opponent. So I think Moreno can land that jab. I think Kavanagh, sure, he's going to load up, look for the big shot, but it's going to tire you out at that elevation over the course of 5 rounds. Look for Kavanagh maybe to be a little bit slower coming out, which gives Moreno even a bigger jump to get a lead early on. So give us Brandon Moreno to get it done.
It really was the weekend of the jab last weekend, wasn't it? Phil Rowe was landing a lot too.
Yeah, he was.
Wow, yeah. I mean, that's a great point. We gotta start putting that on our film checklists. Does this dude have a jab?
Yeah, 1,000%. Ladies and gentlemen, that does it for the card. It doesn't do it for the show. Don't go anywhere before we give you the free show parlays like we do every single week. If you've made it this far, smack the like button on the video and get subscribed to the channel. It really helps the boys out. We put in a lot of work every single week for you guys. But let's dive in to Lock Door MMA's Lock of the Night. JP, who are we locking up this week to bounce back?
It was kind of tough. Not gonna lie to you guys, it was kind of tough. This card's a little tricky, all right, because of the elevation, because there's some just absolute cans, and then some guys who should win, but is also kind of sketchy. Just a lot of red flags. But Brevin said it best. How are we gonna bounce back? We're locking a guy who's also gonna have another massive bounce back. Okay, King Green is getting slumped. Give us Daniel Zellhuber by head kick. Okay, I'm betting on it somewhere. Kalshi, Poly Market, what kind of signups do you got for me? Okay, because the head kick is how he's ending it. Give us Zellhuber.
Yeah, we expect Zellhuber to have that big bounce back performance. That takes us in to Brevin's basic parlay. Let's start with that lock. Daniel Zellhuber to get it done. I really like the matchup for him. And then I want to move down the card. I like Edgar Chairez to get it done over Bunes. I think he's just very slept on in that division. And then I'm moving down one more spot here. Give me Imanol Rodriguez. We're gonna rake off 3 fights in the row for the basic to hit. I feel very good about all those fighters right there.
Good one. Good one. Yeah, we're having a massive bounce back card. Okay. You know, last weekend is what it is. Sometimes you got your off nights. Sometimes you can't miss. Saturday, we're hoping is one of those nights we cannot miss. Let's get to the juicer. Sit down, shut up. First one, the fireman, Francis Marshall. Okay, he's fighting a 39-year-old with knee problems who hasn't fought in 2 years. Francis Marshall loses this. I mean, caught him. Honest to God, caught him. Okay, just like Yadier Del Valle, I'm waiting for the day they cut that man. Gonna crash out again, settle down. Next one, Santiago Luna. Okay, the skill gap, so much better than Pacheco. We just can't gas out. Can't blow your wad when you're trying to get him out of there. Okay, show us levels. Next one, Imanol Rodriguez. We're back on Brevin. We're going Imanol. DC is coaching him. He should be smart. That's DC's biggest thing, is fighting with IQ and skill. Right? Smite farter, not harder, is what I was gonna say. Fight smarter, not harder. Okay, give me Imanol. Next one, Zellhuber. Lock is a lock for a reason. Bobby Green, good night. And the final two, David Martinez over Cheeto. You could even take him by decision if you don't like the minus 290, but it's juicer. It's probably juiced like crazy. Really not, actually. I'm looking at it right now. You can't take him by decision. And the last one is Brandon Moreno. We're taking him. Brevin, that's 6 legs. And that's plus 309 right now.
Wowzers. Ladies and gentlemen, if that doesn't describe the odds on this card, I don't know what does. Listen, I know we're going to catch a lot of heat. We have all favorites. You know, I'm just going to say all favorites on this card. It was what it was. The research was the research. The film was the film. And we can't sit here and back a plus 400 guy that honestly has never won a fight in the UFC. That's a lot of these situations. I get it. You may not like it, but that's this week. We're going to bounce back. Listen, if they win the fight, no one's going to be complaining. Right? If they win, everyone's happy. If they lose, let us know in the comments. Obviously, we'll know the result. We watch the fights. But if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on any of our UFC predictions. Every single card, we're here for you. With that, JP, I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, last weekend, it was just a strange card, man. I mean, everybody had Yadier. I don't think too many people had Sergey winning. Um, I don't know how many people are like Brevin back in Uros, right? Not a lot that I saw. But, you know, afterwards, everybody, oh, I knew it. Oh, I went perfect. Everybody's the king of predictions when their predictions aren't out there for the world to see. Combine this week, no? Am I correct about that?
Is it this early?
I
Maybe.
could have swore it was. I don't know. My Brevin's doing some research about that. Maybe he might freeze. Lord knows.
I do it on my phone. I can't touch my computer.
Yeah, dude. This man's been doing too much research on Eileen Perez's OnlyFans. His computer's got a bug on it now. Okay.
You're gonna get me in trouble.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time for that, would it? With the Jeopardy music on.
I've never been on Perez's OnlyFans, I'll tell you that much. But yes, I've been in trouble before. But yes, the combine starts February 26th, so this Thursday.
Hey, there you go. All right, football just ended, and then we're gonna jump right back into the offseason stuff. I believe free agency starts like March 1st or something.
Yeah, I believe so. Or it was like March 13th, I believe. But I can't wait for Mendoza's 5-second 40-yard dash.
Whoa, whoa, 4-9, buddy. Put some respect on this dude's name. Oh my god. um. So yeah, combine's happening. UFC Mexico. See how it goes next weekend. I believe it is the another numbered event. Holloway and um
Oliver.
Oliveira. Jesus, I don't know what is wrong with me today. I'm enough yapping. All right, ladies and gentlemen, another weekend, another set of fights out to Mexico City. As always, it was a pleasure. Bingo, bango, baby. Hey.